Hey, good morning. Welcome to Battleground Believers. So thank you so much for joining us this morning. Fun day in the studio today. Again, I have Matt Carter, co-host, Randy Barr on the keys and the turntable and the switches in there, making us look oh so beautiful. Again, like, share, subscribe really helps the channel. And we really do appreciate the audience we have. We're starting to get some interaction and some interesting some comments and things like that. And we really appreciate that. And we really do want to be people that you can reach out. So if you have anything for us, you want to talk to us about anything, we have a email address. It's battlegroundbelievers@gmail.com. But you got to spell believers right. Right, Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah. He spelled it wrong when we were trying to sign into one of our accounts this morning. So that's kind of...
It's the iPhone. You have way too small little buttons.
I don't think you can say that. I don't think you can say that word. Anyway.
Edit it out.
But this morning, special guest, Chuck, right?
Yep.
And buddy of mine, and we ride Harleys together.
It's not Chuck Norris.
Some people don't.
He tricked me. He said it was Chuck Norris.
Anyway, Chuck's in the studio. He runs the Life Riders group at our church, and he's got a testimony. And here our tagline is telling his story through your story. And what we really believe is the way we communicate Jesus and the way we show life's change is through our own lives. Nobody can dispute the fact if I say I was this way, I met Jesus, and now I'm this way, and they see those fruits. That's, to me, is the best way to share a testimony and to reach people. And right now, I think this world needs to hear the message of Jesus and needs to see, hey, meet genuine people that live out the faith, as well as see you were this way and then you became this way through the power of the Holy Spirit and Jesus and God and through faith in Christianity. Not a list of rules, not a list of regulations, but a real live relationship that every day we communicate with the living God who created the heavens and the earth and knit us all together in our mother's womb. And that same Holy Spirit that was there in the very beginning is the one that dwells in us when we accept the Lord Jesus. And so this morning, Chuck, we want to tell his story through your story. So we're going to let you pick up wherever you want. If you want to start when you were young and you saw glimpses of faith and kind of talk about however you were and then move through to meeting Jesus and then that transition and we'll kind of go from there. So without further ado, Chuck.
Yes. Well, good morning. And I'm going to start my story when I was younger. Growing up, Mom and Dad always went to church. We and my grandparents. So we were always back and forth I was either with Grandma and Grandpa going to church or going to church with Mom and Dad. Mm-hmm. Mom and Dad were always pretty heavy into the church.
So they were Christians?
Yes. Mom and Dad were Christians, always, as long as I remember.
Yeah.
That everybody believed in my household. And that's
were they Christians, like in the sense that we have to be in church, or were they Christians where they lived it out? You saw your parents pray and you could tell that they had a personal relationship with Jesus.
They lived it out.
Okay.
They lived their whole lives out. Mom was Sunday school teacher. She helped with that. Dad was always involved in church, mm-hmm. Helping take worship on the Sundays. So they were always involved in church. We always did meals mm-hmm. at church and stuff like that. And I can remember Mom and Dad were always involved in that.
Do you remember how old you were when you kind of first accepted? Like, were you really young and accepted Jesus as a young man, or like what you thought?
Yeah, I thought, I would say probably 10, 11 is when I really got to know Christ on where I should be at in my life at that point. So I had always knew Christ was in my heart. So it was kind of one of those at a younger age, mm-hmm. and then you know how life kind of works through, and going on past that, then we lived on a big old hog farm. Okay, So we always had to work on the farm all year round.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I have also had, back then I had a younger sister and a younger brother
Mm-hmm.
back then. And that's when I really seen the faith come through on my mom and dad, because my little brother had gotten killed there on the farm.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that's when I really seen mom come around, and I mean, you could tell it devastated my mom and dad because of that.
I bet.
And the family that came to us from that church and our surrounding families, I mean, that makes a big difference when you go through something like that, is having a connection with a church family or with other
People that love
people,
you, yeah.
people that love you, and that really got them through it, and I could see that. That was one thing. I'm like, wow, that, because to me that was like, oh my gosh.
So even in the midst of mourning the loss of your brother, you got this, you were experiencing something that really had a profound effect on you then?
Yeah, it did. That was one of them. And I couldn't quite understand why, but later on my mom came to me and said, well, God just needed him back.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't quite understand that at that time, because I was still kind of young.
So at any time, did you ask, like, were you, because obviously you were going to church and stuff, did you ever, like, ask God, like, why, like, almost blame him? Like, why would you take my brother?
Yes, I did.
Because that's what I did with my mom.
And I did do that a lot. And then that's when mom came to me and said, look, he needed to go back home. And I'm like, okay. So I kind of like, all right, mom's telling me it's okay. Christ took him back home
Mm-hmm.
to be with him, because he has a bigger, he knows the bigger picture, and I don't.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of went on from there. And then
How old are you now?
I was probably 11, 12.
When he passed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're old enough to understand.
I'm old enough to understand, and that's why I started getting questions on why would something like this happen to somebody.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So then later on, going into school, that kind of got into junior high, still hanging out with my same friends from church and whatnot, and then kind of got into high school, and that's when things kind of started changing. That's where I kind of like, I started pulling back. It's like, well, I'm a believer. I don't need to go to church. And that's where I'm like, looking back at that, wow, boy, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, hindsight's 20/20.
Right.
Was there still anger? Do you think there was still underlying anger? Like when you started to pull back, it was like, hey, I know Jesus, but I mean, the dude took my brother, so we're cool. He knows me, I know him. I'm just going to do kind of what I want to.
Pretty much, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's where I kind of let that. I think that was always like an underlining. It's like, I'm still not quite. It's like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I was still kind of starting to get that rebellious stage, to where I was kind of like pulling back, hanging out with other friends at school, because hey, that'd be cool. Mm-hmm. That's the cool thing to do, so let's go do that. Yeah. So I did. I kind of got into, well, growing up, my dad always smoked, okay?
It was a different time.
It was a different time back then.
I had pastors that smoked on the pulpit.
Yeah. So, and then I kind of got into that because of some of my new friends that I had gotten in school.
You were a smoker?
Oh, yeah.
I was never cool enough to do
it. Yeah, so I kind of got into that crowd, and then got older, got into to where it was junior year, senior year. So then we started knowing other friends, and then that's when we kind of started getting into the alcohol and kind of going out drinking here and there. Deep down, I'm just like, I shouldn't be doing this, but hey, this is fun. Let's go do this.
Mm-hmm.
So you're still hanging out with your friends. You're still going to church on Sundays. Still working on the farm. So getting into that, and then that's when I ended up meeting my first wife.
First, yeah.
Okay,
How old are you?
I was 17 when
Oh wow.
when we started dating
How long
back
did you
in
guys
high
date?
school. We dated right up till I graduated, and then I left for college, and then she went. Her dad got her a job down in Indianapolis,
Okay.
Where'd you go to
So-
college?
Indiana or Ivy Tech, or not Ivy Tech, NBC Tech over in Lima, Ohio, to be an auto diesel mechanic.
Okay.
Okay.
So I was over there for 2.5 years. I lived over there,
But you guys still
But
dated
I
during
worked-
that time?
but I still worked on the farm. So I took night classes over there. So I'd come home.
Oof.
You drive back and forth every day?
Yeah, I was
Oh, man.
driving back and forth.
Gas was like 7 cents during
Yeah.
this time.
Yeah, it was cheap.
It
So
was
did-
super expensive. 22 cents a gallon. I can't believe it.
So yeah, once I graduated from high school, then I went over for like a semester or something over there,
Mm-hmm.
and then still drinking and smoking and
Partying.
partying, college, and then that's when it's like, I need to get back to where I'm making money again. So Dad said, well, just drive back and forth to work. So I got a little Datsun that got real good gas mileage back in them days
Yeah. I
to
see
drive
where-
back for school. So I'd go drive all the way over there, go to school, and then drive back home, get a couple hours sleep, and then get back up, work on the farm, and then drive back over. So I did that for a while. In the meantime, still trying to date my girlfriend, and then finally we just ended up breaking it off. And then she met somebody else down there, and then so.
I mean, I thought you said that was your
So
first
it's
wife.
It was.
So what happened? You guys got back?
Well, we got back together. So
Let him tell the story, man.
I'm trying. I'm getting lost.
Yeah, we're like, so many women.
well, yeah, we were dating. I asked her to marry me after we had graduated.
Okay.
So, and then I went to college. She went down there, and then we just kind of split. And so that's like, okay, that's fine, because I need to get this taken care of in my life.
Yeah.
So, and then a couple years later, I graduate. I come back to the farm. I'm working on the farm, helping Dad out. And then Dad has a big accident to where he's in a car wreck and ends up breaking his neck. So he's in one of those big halos.
Yeah, with the
So
pins and everything.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was terrible. And
Man.
that's kind of brung me back into like, whoa, hey, I need to kind of calm down here. Go back to working on the farm and going back. I started going back into church on a regular basis with Mom and Dad. So, and helping them around the house and on the farm with that to help Dad out. So then after he got better and was back on that, I'm like, okay, it's time for me to move out and go out on my own. So ended up going out on my own, and then you know how the story goes. You always kind of fall back. I fell back away again. Got a job working at a factory, working nights, then sleep during the day, and then me and the buddy from there, we'd go out.
So did
go
you graduate
party.
from college? Did you get?
Yes,
you
I did.
Okay.
So ended up graduating from college there, and ended up just working on the tractors and stuff around the farm. Got quite a few job opportunities, but it's like, nah, I just want to stay here on the farm, help Dad out and whatnot, work on the tractors and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But on hindsight though, then later on during that whole session of moving out and doing the partying thing on the weekends and not going to church or not doing any of that kind of stuff. But in my heart, I still knew Christ loved me and I loved him. So we just kind of kept working that through. And then next thing I know, my girlfriend from back then she had already gotten married and then was going through a divorce. So ended up, she came to the house with her and her 2 kids. And then we kind of started dating again, kind of getting back into knowing one another. And
Was she a Christian, or like, did she have a
her
base of faith?
Yes, her mom was. I looked up to her mom. Her mom was really like my mom. They went to church, was involved in church, and she always wanted us to come back to church. So we ended up, after me and her got back together, and we did end up getting married. And then her mom convinced us we need to come to church on Sundays. So we started going to her church. And then we kind of helped raise her 2 kids because they were only 3 and 4 when we got together. So yeah, I was instant dad. It's like, holy cow. It's like, wow.
Yeah, instant family.
Yes, instant family is right. But
There's a lot of dynamics there too.
It was pretty cool. So then we pretty much was doing that, going to church with her mom, got involved a little bit in the church, not like I wanted, because my wife was just, at that time, didn't really want anything to do with going to church. The reason we ended up going was because her mom was kind of pushing the issue. You really need to bring the kids, because her mom would always come grab the kids and go do church things during the week and whatnot while I was off working.
Did that cause tension between you and her, because you had this pull to faith and she's like, I don't want anything to do with
It did. And looking back on that, I kind of wish I kind of would have pushed it a little bit more instead of backing off and just like, okay, that's fine. I'm not going to push this issue. But as we got farther and farther, and then we got into another church, some friends of mine said, hey, you need to come over and check this church out. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I went over to another church there in Huntington, and I got into like a little men's group, and it's like, oh, hey, this is cool. I like this. So I got into that, and I was trying to get her into like getting into one of the women's groups or just get involved and do something. And it did. It was just head to head all the time. Just, I wanted to get back into church, and she did not want anything to do with it.
So your relationship with Jesus was growing at this time.
It was gradually getting bigger, because I knew what I needed in my life to turn things around, and it just wasn't happening. Yeah. And so where we were at was still I was trying to get things going, and I really looked up to her mom because she was kind of influencer on trying to help us along with that. And we ended up, her mom had a farm out north of Huntington, and we ended up buying some property from her and building a house on that property. So she helped us out with that. So then we ended up doing that, and then I ended up getting a job. I left the factory, got a construction job in the midst of all that, and then driving dump truck and moving equipment around. And I'm like, hey, hey, this is pretty cool. I like this.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to do something bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Because as a little kid, I thought driving semis was pretty cool. So let's try to figure out how to get into doing that and make more money to support my family.
Mm-hmm.
So then I ended up getting a job as a semi driver hauling heavy equipment all over the country.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I was gone 5-6 days a week.
To make money for the family, but raising the family is two different things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then that's looking back, that's where I went downhill.
From your faith, or
From
your
my
marriage?
faith, because I'm trying to just support my family,
Mm-hmm.
because her kids were getting older at this time. So I'm thinking I need to make more money to support my wife and kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pushing, trying to get more hours, trying to get more money
Yeah.
in the household coming in to take care of this. So in the midst of this, we end up getting into a lot of fights because I wasn't around. The daughter, her and her mom was always fighting with one another.
Mm-hmm.
And when I came home, she'd come tell me what was going on and what's going on in the house, and that just started kind of splitting the house up.
Mm-hmm.
And then to this day, I still don't know, and I don't ask, but somewhere along the line, I about ended up filing bankruptcy twice in the midst of all that. And me being gone, letting her take care of the money,
Mm-hmm.
and what she was doing with all the money, I have no idea. But I'd come back home and go through the mail and find a bunch of
Bills.
late bills that had not been paid and whatnot. And it's like, oh my gosh, this was.
So what was that crisis moment? I mean, obviously we're building to something.
Yep.
So this kind of explodes in your face now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is when I go back to the boss and say, hey, look, I need more home time to take care of all this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at that time, he was gracious enough to give me the money I needed to get the bills and everything caught back up. And that's when I took over
The bills.
and keeping everything paid there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the kids were old enough that they were, 13, 14. They got old enough to where she could go get a job. So she ended up going and getting a job working nights. So when I get home from moving equipment during the day, then she'd go work at a bar there in Huntington that night, bartending and whatnot, doing there.
Mm-hmm.
And then ended up finding out she was also having an affair on me. And yeah, I'm starting to get devastated from all this going on. I just can't.
Getting hit at all angles.
I'm getting hit at all angles. It's like, God, what did I do to deserve all this?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to support my family. Why am I getting knocked down?
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I went back into church a little heavier, and then got to know one of the guys really close at church, and he kind of helped me through that crisis on doing that. And then he ended up referring me and my wife over to a counselor to help us get through what we were going through there.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was like, okay, I don't know what to do in all this, because that made me so mad. And it's like, no, this isn't right.
Mm-hmm.
So we ended up going through counseling for a good year to help me and her to both try to get things put back together.
Did it help?
It did for a while. Yeah. And so then after we got things kind of put back together, then that's when we kind of started going back to church on a regular basis.
So she was going with you?
She was going with me.
Mm.
She wasn't fighting as much anymore, because then she kind of started getting to know people in the church a little more. So she kind of got a little bit involved with some of the people we were hanging out with and going out to dinner and stuff like that. So that seemed like that helped along that line. Then I kind of got back into church a little bit heavier, got into the men's group, and then one of the guys says, "Hey, you want to come help teach the teenagers at Sunday school?" Sure, that sounds like fun.
How it starts with the youth.
It does. And so I got into doing the youth group and bringing the kids with me on Sunday nights, because we'd have youth group on Sunday nights. So we kind of got into that, doing. Me and the kids got into doing that.
You did that. She wasn't involved in that.
No, okay. She didn't want to get into that heavy into it, I guess.
Yeah.
And I wasn't gonna push it. I kind of thought if I could get some of the others in the church to kind of try to pull her in or get involved or something, and they tried, and she just like, no, I'm fine right where I'm at. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go do youth group.
Do you felt like during this time your relationship with the Lord was growing, like you were learning?
I was starting, yes. My growth with Christ was getting a little more and a little more and a little more, and I wanted more. I wanted to get in there. So the more I got into doing that, and then I got in with the youth on teaching them on Christ and how we should be living our lives, and using kind of somewhat of my story to tell them, hey, you need to rely on God in the hard times. Don't turn away, because it's easy to turn away. You don't want to turn away, because that pain is never going to go away unless you ask Christ to come into your life and beg, just please help me. What can I do to get through this section of my life?
It's amazing sometimes when you're teaching or leading a group, how many times you make a lesson and it speaks to you almost volumes more than it may. Obviously, somebody in the group is getting it, but I've known in times where I've done a lesson and thought, man, I got to start taking my own medicine. You know?
Exactly. And that's what kind of was starting to hit me.
Okay, so
when I'm teaching them, I think I'm getting more out of it to myself, because I was getting to know more how I should be living my life.
Well, we're going to wind down. We're running out of time for this first episode. The beauty is we can come back next week, meaning we're going to shoot it in the next 2 minutes. You will have to wait till the next episode comes out to see the rest of this story. So when we come back, we'll kind of pick up there and kind of talk about your crisis moment and what really led you to, because obviously you said first wife, so we're assuming there was a divorce, and what brought you to the point where you were like, I am sold out, on fire for the Lord, and I understand it's a relationship. And then we'll go from there, and hopefully we can talk about some of the ministries you're involved in.
Yep.
Does that sound good?
Yep, sounds good.
You got any last minute things?
Nope.
All right. Hey, thank you so much for joining Battleground Believers. We appreciate you being part of the audience. And remember, all that call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. Battleground Believers, out.